From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
All right, a big day. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is Super Tuesday, March 5th.
So let's get it started.
I would say get out there and vote. There's no reason why not to.
A message for you waking up on Super Tuesday. You're heading to the polls this morning, deciding races and other measures affecting our community.
Hey there. My name is Jennifer, and I'm an artificial intelligence volunteer.
Have you gotten one of these calls? Artificial intelligence is becoming a bigger part of our lives, and now it's being put to use in our elections.
It's been terrible.
Digging up from the snow in the Sierra as people wake up to this at their door. But more powder could be on the way. And here we go again. Are you feeling lucky? We have lottery fever on this Tuesday morning with your chance at another big jackpot tonight.
Well, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Yes, it is Super Tuesday. I'm Gianna Franco, and hopefully you're getting up and getting out the door and casting your vote.
Yep, polls open at between 7 a.m., about 7 a.m., 7:30, and they stay open until 8 o'clock. Much more on that throughout this broadcast. I'm Reed Cowan.
Yeah, it's happening now. I'm Nicole Zalumis, and we are live. We have updates all morning long, but let's take a live look outside on this Tuesday morning as we look east. And the thing I like about this is there's no raindrops on our camera, but there is a little bit of fog or mist, something out there, Reed, that's not great.
All right, so let's take a look at weather right now. Jessica, you're in telling us about the polling locations and whether they may have to endure a little bit of weather or fog, et cetera, when they go to cast their vote.
It just depends on where you're heading to, because some of us in our microclimates down in the South Bay are dealing with beautiful, clear conditions. It's still foggy and cool for our friends in San Francisco as we wake up this morning with just a little bit of drizzle moving in from offshore. This is what it's looking like. Partly cloudy skies kind of just splitting the Santa Clara Valley as we wake up this morning, heading a little bit more north near the Bay Bridge. Yeah, it's cool, it's gloomy, and that's kind of the stereotypical setup after a very active weather pattern that we experienced over the weekend. Now, taking a look at what's going on, throughout the next couple days, we're going to have some unsettled weather in the forecast for us. What does that mean exactly? Well, we could see a splash of showers here and there as this storm starts to move its way in from offshore until our Wednesday forecast. By Thursday and Friday, we clear up just fine, but that system's going to linger around just a little bit longer. And as we wake up this morning, we're actually seeing just some light rain scattered throughout the Bay Area, mostly along our coastline, stretching throughout the Bay waters over into Oakland right now. Light drizzle currently falling near Half Moon Bay too. Now, we'll continue to watch this trend into this afternoon. Light speckles of showers here and there, only amounting to about 1/100 of an inch of rain, and it will stretch off into the East Bay. But what's interesting about the system that moves in tomorrow, as it sweeps to the south, it actually builds in a little bit more closer to those coastlines near Half Moon Bay, all the way over into the Santa Clara Valley too, and they're going to get splashed with just a little bit more rain, which is unique actually with a system like this compared to our friends up in the North Bay, where usually it comes through there first. So cool, cloudy days ahead of us with just some light showers in the forecast. We do clear up fast though as we head into our Thursday setup, and then we'll talk about the winds and everything else throughout the rest of this week coming up in just a bit. For now, over to you, G.
Jess, thank you. I want to get right to those conditions as you head across the Bay Bridge this morning. Heads up, we do have a backup because of a crash near Treasure Island. Here's what the toll plaza looks like. It is slow and go all the way to the maze now. Because of that, the approaches are seeing some brake lights too. Westbound 80, slower than usual. Had a crash there too, so give yourself some extra time if you are headed into the city this morning. Looking at our maps, you can see just sort of the top there, all that red, speeds under 35 miles per hour. So backing things up out of Richmond into Berkeley, and of course, once you get across the upper deck, down about 11 miles per hour. Once you're past that point, everything looks good into San Francisco, lighter than usual because most of that traffic is kind of backed up into that area as you head into the city. Now, zooming out once again, you can see things are getting busy out of the East Bay especially, but Peninsula and South Bay commuters, even Marin County actually looking pretty good. North Bay, we're not seeing any major hotspots or issues right now.
It is Decision Day on your community station, covering the issues where you live on this Super Tuesday. In addition to the big ones, the presidential primary, voters will shape our future in their choices in key races and ballot issues in California. Polling locations across the Bay Area, they're now open, and poll workers are there ready to welcome you in to cast your vote. One such location, San Jose, at the Santa Clara County Register of Voters. Gee, that got you too. It didn't get G, it got me. Sean Chitness I've got to exercise my mouth here. Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters. That's a mouthful, and really it should be, because it's an important place this morning where people are going to go and cast their ballot. Good morning. You can do much better than me. Take it away, Sean Chittens.
Hey, Reed, good morning. Guess we all need to do those vocal exercises. I'm going to make you say it. I haven't been saying it this morning, but it is great to be here in San Jose, where they are now open. This is one of many voting centers available to folks in the county. It is still early, and as we've been hearing, folks like to wait until the last minute. And so going into today, we know that turnout is around 16%. Hopefully they can get that up much higher. A small army working to make sure that they get this through in a way that is effective and secure, helping every eligible voter. So let's take a look at what we were able to see late last week going into the weekend when they were getting some of that early work done. They do have altogether 104 voting centers that opened on Saturday, and so there are 2,000 temporary workers that help to run those. But in addition to that, they also have workers who are preparing language aids for voters so that they can have a successful process voting today or earlier into today. Now, the turnout was expected to be between 45 and 55%. We're now being told that that's going to be revised to lower, under 40%, and that is below what we normally see for voter participation in a primary. Still, workers who have been a part of this office for years say that ensuring an effective and honest election is one of the most critical responsibilities they have in their role.
I would say that no election is the same. You know, elections are always evolving, and there's always something that comes up that's new, that's different, and it's a privilege to be able to put that in practice for our county, for our citizens.
All right, so they are now open at all of those voting centers. They will be here until 8 p.m. You need to be in line by 8 p.m. to vote in person, or you need to turn in that ballot. Make sure that it gets into an official ballot box before 8 p.m. If you're sending it through the regular mail, you'll want to check because it's probably due earlier. And then once you turn it in, make sure that even if it's postmarked by today, it still has to get to the election office by March 12th. Reed, back to you.
All right, Sean Chittens, thank you so much from the Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters in San Jose.
You nailed it, Reed. Well, there is only one statewide measure on the primary ballot, Proposition 1, a multi-billion-dollar measure to address mental health and homelessness. It's an issue that we know all too well here in the Bay Area, and especially in San Francisco. The $6.3 billion bond is a big part of Governor Newsom's plan to create drug and mental health treatment beds to get people off of the streets. He joined San Francisco's mayor and district attorney at a rally urging voters to go to the polls. And we spoke to a member of the California Teachers Association Board of Directors who supports Prop 1. She says it would help provide mental health resources for people in need.
Any educator can tell you what it means to have a student in their class who can't focus on the academic aspect of the classroom because they're worried about where they're sleeping or what problems that their parents may have or someone else in their family.
We also spoke with a member of the No campaign who says Prop 1 would divert billions of dollars away from already effective mental health services.
Not only do the vast majority of unhoused people not have a serious mental health condition, they therefore would not even qualify for the services under Proposition 1, which require a serious mental health diagnosis.
Opponents also say it's too expensive at a time when the state's budget deficit is soaring. The measure needs a simple majority to pass.
Well, another big question today, who will fill California's U.S. Senate seat in the future? It was Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat until she died last September. Voters are now being asked to vote twice, once for a partial term for the remainder of the term, November to early January, and then for a full 6-year term in which the top 2 vote-getters will advance to the general election in November. Labor union official LaFonza Butler was appointed to take the seat by Governor Gavin Newsom last October, but she later announced she would not be running for a full term. So now it's down to 4 leading candidates that have been making their final pushes. Former chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, is leading his fellow Democratic candidates. Now, he served as part of the panel that investigated the January 6th insurrection, as well as also leading efforts to investigate and impeach former President Donald Trump. Oakland Representative Barbara Lee says her progressive record and her identity as a black woman is a much-needed voice to the Senate. The Democrat was also the only member of Congress to vote against the war in Afghanistan. Democrat Katie Porter is a current member of Congress from Orange County. Part of her campaign advocates against lobbying and corporate special interests and ending the earmark process, which allows Congress members to direct federal funding to specific projects. And then former Dodgers player Steve Garvey stands out as the only Republican of the 4 leading candidates. He says he wants to focus on fixing homelessness and crime, lowering inflation, and bettering education. So a poll taken just last week by UC Berkeley shows Garvey out in front of his Democratic rivals. We posted everything you need to know about casting your ballot, along with a complete voter guide. You can find that on our website at KPIX.com. And join us tonight for complete coverage as the results roll in. Julia Goodrich, Devin Feely, and Sarah Donchie will be following all of it from 7 to 10 on PIX Plus and streaming online, with another 90 minutes of coverage right here on KPIX starting at 10.